Ladies and gentlemen, the following episode is scheduled for one fall. Coming down the aisle are your hosts of In The Kliq, Baby Huey and BrianTronic.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, and joining me once again is my tag team partner, BrianTronic. How's it going, man?
It's going great. I got my 24-inch pythons, brother. I'm ready.
Well, if you got 24-inch pythons, I hope your microphone works okay tonight with no issues like the other person we know with 24-inch pythons experienced this week. But
Oh, man, that was bad.
We'll get into that in a sec. But we're not alone tonight for this episode of In The Kliq. Joining us is our buddy Tim from Pro Wrestling Unlimited. What's up, man?
What's going on, guys? Always a pleasure to be here with you guys. Love talking wrestling with you too. It's always fun to, bounce things off of other people, talk about different things, and like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? So I love jumping on here with you guys because it's just more people I get to talk wrestling with.
Absolutely. And this is going to be a very special episode. So I'm just going to let everyone know this is going to be our review for Raw 30 or Raw XXX, Raw XXX. I don't know what you want to call it specifically. So we're going to talk about all the highlights from this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. And then we're going to give our predictions for Royal Rumble. Here we are. It was the go-home show for Royal Rumble this week. And yeah, the big show is happening this Saturday. So yeah, I thought let's go through the matches, give our thoughts and predictions, what's going to happen this weekend. It's going to be an exciting time. So yes, I figured let's get Tim on as well. Some extra opinions and voices for this episode of the podcast. So thank you guys for tuning in right now. Remember, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts at. If you're listening to us at Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star rating. Leave us a review. If you're listening on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button. Leave us a big thumbs up, a like there. That helps out so much. And so let's go ahead, jump right into it. 30 years of Monday Night Raw. And before we get through all like the highlights from this week's episode, I'm just curious for you guys. I've been lucky enough to watch pretty much every episode of Monday Night Raw for the last 30 years. I've been alive for its whole entire run up until this point. So for you guys, I'm kind of curious, what are some of your highlights, your favorite moments from Monday Night Raw? So Tim, I'll start with you. Just, listen, there's a lot has happened on Monday Night Raw in the last 30 years. Great video package they had that kind of showed like the whole history of Raw and a lot of the big moments there. But for you, is there like a couple moments that really just stood out for you as a wrestling fan?
So growing up, I didn't really find wrestling until 1998. I knew what it was because when we would go visit my grandparents in LA, my grandfather would watch it, but we'd only visit 2-3 times a year. So I wouldn't like get invested in it. But friend moves in across the street, says, hey, come over, hang out. We start watching wrestling. First show I watched was Monday Night Raw. And the match that stands out, because the first match I ever saw was an Acolytes versus Hardy Boys match.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So yeah, it's pre, for the younger kids out there, pre-APA.
That was 98.
Yeah. Ron Simmons or Farouk. So was that, they were still with the Ministry with Undertaker, right? I mean, that's where
right towards the end of that, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. They still had the fucking, they painted on their chest or whatever.
The symbols. And then like, what was that? Like electric tape that they would use on their biceps?
That was always weird. Little armband thing, but it was like super skinny.
Yeah, it always stood out to me. Like I was like, as a kid or a teenager at that point for me, I was like, is that a black electric tape? Because like super shiny. But I was like, do they just take electric tape and just like wrap it around the top of their biceps to make it pop out? And I was like, oh, it's kind of like what Ultimate Warrior used to do when he used to have, I was like, oh, that's how you get like extra big muscles, I guess. I don't know. I was always kind of
Farouk used to wrap them around his fingers too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other matches that stood out for me as far as Monday Night Raw does go. I mean, that match where Triple H tore his quad the first time, the tag match where him and Stone Cold teamed up against Jericho and Benoit.
Yeah.
The Rock versus Stone Cold in a cage right after WrestleMania 17. Basically, when they sent The Rock away for his safety.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's right.
So, and then was that when Booker T debuted as well, or one of Booker's first times? And I just remember Booker like slamming the cage in Rock's face. Was it? I think
so.
Yeah, because Austin was now with McMahon. if I'm thinking correctly. It was right after WrestleMania. Yeah.
After 17, it was a double turn that night where Rock became babyface and Stone Cold went heel. And as we all know, Stone Cold regrets that decision.
Wholeheartedly regrets. Like, he thinks that's the worst decision he could have ever made.
I mean,
even though we got some gold out of that, like Jimmy Crack Corn.
Yes, I know exactly. But Stone Cold said, at the time he thought he was just, his character was getting kind of burnt out and he thought he needed to do something new. But now looking back on it, he wished he would have told Vince, watch for the stunner. It's coming. He wished he just would have stunned Vince and just move on and let the crowd cheer him. But, But more recent Raw memories for me as well. I remember exactly where I was 2012 when Brock Lesnar made his big return and attacked John Cena. Yeah. Oh my God.
That was on Monday Night Raw. Yeah.
That was huge.
I remember I was living in Texas at the time. We came back out to California to visit my parents. And I was sitting on their couch and all of a sudden Brock's music hits and I go, wait, what?
What's this?
Huh? Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Also, another new recent one, Ziggler's cash-in.
Yes, that's probably one. I mean, okay. I know Seth Rollins cash-in is probably the greatest cash-in of all time, hands down. But Ziggler is definitely, I would say, number 2 for me.
Yeah. For sure.
The excitement.
Were you there for Rollins?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I was there too, and that place went bananas.
So I was telling someone the other day. So, for anyone who doesn't know, like a press box at whatever sporting venue, when a sporting event's going on, you're not really supposed to cheer. You got to be professional. You got to be very serious and do your job and, just watch the game, observe, do what you got to do in the press box, get your job done. But for WrestleMania, that press box, everyone was cheering, roaring, reacting to all the big spots. I mean, when Randy Orton hit the RKO and Seth Rollins in the air, like people were like, "Oh my God!" And, Daniel Bryan, wins the ladder match for the IC title. Sting and NWO versus DX, like everyone was cheering, like. And then when Seth Rollins cashed in, everyone erupted, like, "Oh my God, what did we just witness here?" So. It was the complete 180 of like press box etiquette, but it was amazing. And to this day is like the best press box experience I've ever been through. So it was so much fun. But Brian, how about you, man? I know in the last 30 years, we've seen so much on Raw every week and just being consistent, every week.
Yeah.
It's like our security blanket. It's our show. We know every Monday we could tune in, good or bad. We know we're loyal. We tune in, and it's always there for us. But any particular moments that really stood out for you?
Yeah, definitely. There's a few. I'm gonna steal one from Tim. The Dolph Ziggler cash in was very impactful for me because I did not really enjoy WrestleMania the night before. I was upset that CM Punk didn't beat the streak. I was mad that Dolph didn't cash in that night. I was just upset about the whole entire show. But Dolph cashing in was really, really good. I'll say Shawn Michaels and Triple H for the world title when Eric Bischoff reversed the decision because his shoulders were down. That was cool. And then I was there when Team Cena formed heading into SummerSlam to fight the Nexus. So it was like Cena, Bret Hart, and all them. So that was really cool.
Yeah, for me, like I said, I've been, alive, I mean, God, so the first one was 93. So I was 9 going on 10 years old at that point. And, those early years of Monday Night Raw, I love the venue, the setting, the Hammerstein Ballroom, New York City,
Manhattan Center.
Yes. Legendary spot. Just the setup in there and, the big Raw letters where the wrestlers would come out through that. It was the kind of beginning of also, they were in the middle of like the new generation era of WWE. So a lot of the characters there, kind of the older guys from the 80s who were still kind of working there, Macho Man doing commentary. Was it Bobby the Brain Heenan was trying to get into the building and they wouldn't let him in. He dressed up like a woman. And it was just such a funny bit throughout the night of him trying to get in. And I have so many great, like you said, memories of watching Raw those early years, that venue. what was the? Oh my god, my brother's gonna kill me. It was the black and white logo, the sponsor.
Ico Pro.
That was I didn't know what that was. Like, what is Ico Pro? I was like, what is that? But no, but so many all that great stuff. And then obviously, Stone Cold's my all-time favorite. So all the Stone Cold moments in the Vince McMahon rivalry, obviously stunning Vince for the first time, the beer bath that he sprayed him with. Just all the stuff with Stone Cold. And then, just the whole rise of The Rock. I mean, they were really awesome. They were lucky that they had two number one guys at the same time to carry the company. I think that's what made it so huge for them, and just, through the Attitude Era. Obviously the rise of DX, all that stuff. And then, Mick Foley, Mankind being The Rock for the title. And obviously the Nitro stuff where Tony Schiavone reveals the spoiler and everyone tuned in and watched it. Such a great moment. I mean, I can go on like this. There's so much. And then for me, like in the last 15 years, really 17 years, whatever, getting back on. But when I was in college, I kind of tuned out for a bit. I was just so busy with college life. So I kind of tuned out during the Evolution era and the Ruthless Aggression era. So I really want to go back and rewatch a lot of that stuff. But, the rise of John Cena, it was really cool to see just Cena through the years really just become the Hulk Hogan of this era for a lot of kids and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, there's so much. CM Punk, obviously the pipe bomb. I mean, you can go on and on. There's so many great memories. What's that?
Tyson.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mike Tyson, all that stuff. And just the Shawn Michaels coming back for an amazing second run of his career, the second half of his career. Yeah, there's so many great memories. And so, I know, listen, Raw's been up and down with their booking over the years and stuff, but like I said, they've always been the one consistent show for the last 30 years in my life that I know I can count on to tune in every single week for entertainment. So yeah, thank you WWE for that. So let's go ahead, jump in, talk about Raw 30 this week. And Tim, we'll start big, kind of give our initial thoughts, and we'll go through some of the highlights of segments from that show. So overall, we're kind of just initial takeaways from Raw 30.
I thought most of the show was good. There was some stuff that didn't need to be there, like Bianca Belair and Sonya Deville, especially with now knowing that the Bloodline segment ran long and they had to cut the women's cage match with Becky and Bayley. It's like, why did we need Bianca and Sonya?
Exactly.
You could have still had Charlotte go out there and Bianca confront Charlotte or whatever, but you just cut out the whole Sonya thing and give us the cage match. That was the one kind of head scratcher. And I get it. They're just going to redo Becky Bayley, whether that's in the cage. Now, here's my question to you guys.
Yeah.
Is the cage match now a moot point because of Damage Control attacking her in the cage, or can they still do the cage if they wanted to down the line?
I almost kind of wonder, I assume they're going to make it up to us at some point. We're going to get that match at some point. But yeah, I kind of wonder, you got to reset and kind of come up with a new stipulation. I just kind of think,
because
put it in the past, the cage.
What we saw was supposed to be post-match.
Yes, exactly.
It was literally everything that was supposed to happen after the match. The match was Becky was supposed to win, climb out, get attacked, thrown back in, and then beat down by Damage Control. So does the cage thing, are fans going to buy it now? Oh, it's going to keep Damage Control out. Well, Damage Control knows how to get in.
Yeah. So I think you probably have to go with a new stipulation. Now, what it is, though,
Give me a sell on Raw.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's Bayley went through a lot of stipulations with Bianca last year with the ladder match and Falls Count Anywhere match. So what could be something different for Becky that we haven't seen already?
So Damage Control in a shark cage.
I feel, exactly. I feel like Adam Pearce or somebody's got to be Damage Control's banned from ringside, or banned from if they intervene in the match, then they'll be stripped of the tag title. I don't know. Adam Pearce has been letting everything happen the last 2 weeks.
I like that
Raw.
stripped of the tag title thing, because I forgot they have the titles. But no, that's a great way to do it. If you guys even walk out there, titles are vacated.
Absolutely. So, Brian, how about you? Kind of your initial just thoughts on Raw XXX? this week?
I thought it was a really good show. I thought the legends that they did have, they used them in a pretty good way. Mm-hmm. The segment with the poker stuff and I feel like that's getting a little played out. Every time we have like an anniversary show or a legend show, it's like they always playing poker, or they're in catering, eating, or there's a big party or something going on. But aside from that, every single segment or something that the legends were involved in, I felt like they did a really good job trying to mix in a lot of the current guys. It's a shame that we didn't get to see the cage match, and there weren't really any women at all other than Medusa involved. But I felt like it was one of the best like legend, like throwback anniversary shows that we've gotten in a long time.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you as far as I think in the past under Vince McMahon, I think a lot of the legends were kind of used in like goofy ways or kind of, embarrass them in some ways in certain segments. This time around, they definitely showed them like a little more respect and kind of used them in a more, better purpose out there, like what their directions were and what they were trying to accomplish in the ring.
Now I have a question for both of you pertaining to the poker segment.
Yes.
So Farouk or Ron Simmons, whatever, was the one running and owning the poker thing. The door said APA. So did he buy out JBL so JBL couldn't just throw Barry Corbin on the list?
That's what I was so confused. It's like, it's APA. Like JBL should be able to just walk on in.
Does he still not own 50% of the APA or what?
Yeah, that's like his best friend. He doesn't know what his best friend's been up to lately in his new endeavor of mentoring Baron Corbin. Yeah, I was a little taken back by that. Now I can say maybe Godfather.
Barry Corbin.
Barry Corbin, that's right. But I can say like Godfather. Yeah, Godfather's probably not paying attention what's going on right now. He's busy, he's got work to do. He's got business to handle. We know that. Yeah. But no, it was very strange how like Farouk or Ron Simmons, had no idea what his best friend's been up to lately.
Even with that, Raw. It said APA on the door. Don't you own half of APA?
I did love, it was literally the same thing. It was just the outline of the door, and they walk right in, and you see it's like a big old room. The poker room, it's an easy thing to do just to kind of get as many people on camera. But they're just sitting there, not really doing anything.
I feel like maybe there was a missed opportunity there, like with Baron Corbin. If you really wanted to make an impact and really kind of put him over, I would have had him maybe beat up Ron Simmons or start a fight and beat up someone backstage, just to kind of be like, okay, we're taking him serious. We've already made kind of a joke out of Baron Corbin because hey, I don't know who this is, right? But then if you want to go, if you want to keep continuing this, if you want to continue this with Corbin and JBL, kind of have them beat somebody up, I mean, John, I saw Gargano back there. Have him beat up Gargano, or something.
Right. He should have got mad when IRS took his money, not just, $100. Oh, well.
Well, and let me ask you this, and this is kind of going off on a tangent, but what do you think about the whole JBL Baron Corbin experiment right now? Is it working? I think
they play off each other. I think they play off each other very well.
Yeah, but
I don't know in the overall picture. I don't know where it's going overall, like where the end game is or any of that. But I think the two together are really good. Mm-hmm. It's just I don't see where it's going. I don't see a trajectory.
Yeah, I almost kind of wonder, maybe, Brian, as you said, was a missed opportunity to get some extra new heat on Baron Corbin and like take out someone there or beat up a bunch of people there being pissed off. It could have been, a great way to kind of add to his heel persona. But you're right. I was going to say, I'm with you. I think they did a better job with a lot of the legends there this night. I'm with you though, as far as, I'm bummed about the whole cage match situation and, wish that would have happened more. And we can, we can go ahead and just start with that right now. So that was, I know they advertised that. That was like one of the four main things they were advertising for Raw this week, which is big cage match. Has been building up to it with Becky and Bayley. And this is, for them, It's exciting because there's a story in the women's division not involving a title, which I think they need more of that. And I get it. People were frustrated that it didn't happen. They were cut for time because the first hour was so long with the trial of Sami Zayn, the match with the Usos, and Judgment Day. So they had to cut it down and just go, as you said, Tim, just go straight to the beatdown at the end. For me personally, I didn't get too like upset over it because I figure they're going to make it up to us at some point in the near future. And it'll be on a separate episode of Raw. And then they can really kind of help. Because this episode, you know, it had a huge ratings number, and there was so much that happened on this show. When that match between Becky and Bayley happened at some point in, you know, I'm assuming in the coming weeks, that could be like the main event of that respected episode of Raw in the near future, and they can really go all in promoting that. You know, maybe add some new layers to the story up into that build. So I didn't personally get like, oh my God, I'm pissed off, but I could see the frustration because you're advertising it and you're like yanking the rug out from us. Like, oh, you false advertise. But I get, and here's the other thing too. And like I said, I can see why people are upset, but I can also see kind of a little bit from the perspective of, you know, for me working in broadcasting, you know, working in radio, and I think, you know, I saw Brian Alvarez kind of go off on this a little bit, kind of explain. I don't know if you guys saw that clip where he was explaining or trying to defend it based on what, you know, his discussion with Lance Storm. When you have an episode of Monday Night Raw, it's 3 hours. You have everything planned out throughout the whole night. Make sure everything's timed out perfectly, especially that first hour of Raw, no commercials. And I've done this, you know, working in radio, we've done commercial-free hours, but you make up those commercials that you're taking away from that hour. You just put them in like the following hour and double up. And so the following hour, you got extra commercials there that you just moved around. So for this same thing, for Raw this week, a lot of those commercials from the 8 p.m. hour or 5 p.m. hour, if you're watching East Coast time, those just got probably bumped back to the second and third hours of the show. So with that being said, you still got to have a show clock and you got to figure out what segments are planned out. So sure, you can. I could totally. I'm with you guys. I wish they would have cut out some other stuff. You know, they could easily cut that Miz Kevin Owens segment. That was kind of pointless. Kevin Owens just could have cut a quick promo and just say, "I can't wait for my match with Roman." You know, kick his ass this Saturday. Yeah, you're right. The whole Bianca Sonya Deville match was pointless, more or less. I get it, but then I can also see why if you cut that stuff off, you kind of throw everything up in the air and you're kind of scrambling, trying to adjust accordingly, and it kind of creates this really stressful domino effect. So I think for them, they're like, okay, let's keep the second and third hours as is. We don't want to jeopardize, you know, we have to redo math and all that stuff. So does that make sense, guys? I mean, you know, Tim, does that make sense as far as they're like, it'd be easier just cut this one thing instead of cutting multiple things down later in the show that really just kind of screws up the whole flow of the show, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, you know, that's for me. It's like I said, working in radio, I've experienced that where it's like we do something, it goes long, and then we're kind of scrambling. It's okay. Well, the next break, let's cut it down, and then, you know, the rest of the show is already planned out. So let's keep those segments as is, and then it would just be easier and we'll make it up for it later. So I'm hopefully, down the road we get, you know, they're going to make it up to us, and I'm sure it's going to be an awesome match here. So let's talk about the opening, you know, the first hour of Monday Night Raw. The trial of Sami Zayn. You know, we saw, you know, the fallout from SmackDown, the ending from SmackDown last week where, you know, Kevin Owens came in and attacked Roman Reigns, put him through the table. The bloodline comes and makes the save, but Kevin Owens takes them out as well. Sami Zayn was very late coming to the ring, but we know Roman Reigns, you know, had him doing other assignments. So I can see why he was late, because he was busy doing other things. So because of that, you know, Kevin Owens threw the contract and Sami Zayn's holding it, and the bloodline, great shot at the end of the show. They're all staring at him holding the contract. So because of that, the punishment was the trial of Sami Zayn here. So Tim, throw it to you. So yeah, what do you think overall of just the trial of Sami Zayn here?
I think they have a slight issue with Roman. To me, he's starting to come off a little wishy-washy as far as he'll think one way and then 5 minutes later, oh no, I was wrong. Okay, never mind. I changed my mind. They've been doing that the last like 2 or 3 weeks, and it's kind of throwing me off. Like, are they doing that intentionally for something we're going to see down the line? Or is it just like, well, we know everybody wants to see Roman yell at Sami, but in the end, he can't be too mad at Sami because we got to keep this going. So I thought the segment as a whole was great. Everybody's roles were done perfectly. I love when Roman was just like, Solo, and Jay's the one that stepped in. Like, that was perfect storytelling that Jay was the one that stopped Solo. But I just found it a little odd that 3-4 minutes before he was like, yeah, we're going to kill Sami. And then Jay's like, well, watch these clips really fast. And he's like, all right, I'll give you one more shot.
I definitely see what you're saying here. Another example of like characters, kind of their decisions really kind of went a 180 was Paul Heyman. Listen, I love Paul Heyman. I love what he did in the ring here. He was more or less the prosecutor trying to take out Sami Zayn. And, you know, the fans, they were in Philadelphia, so the fans were yelling, ECW, ECW. And he said, ECW's dead, and I wish Sami Zayn would die. Which I was like, whoa, kind of taken back. Also, by the way, real quick, he did shout out San Francisco 49ers quarterback, Brock Purdy, and just stick it to the Philadelphia Eagles fans. Go Niners. Fingers crossed they win on Sunday. But anyway, he's the prosecutor. But for the last few weeks, it seems like him and Sami have been close. I mean, I know like they're. No, well, I mean, not like really. I mean, I know like Paul Heyman. Seemed kind of. I'll take that back. Last couple months, Paul seemed to be cool or tight with Sami, but I know like when Sami have his back turned, his eyes would be like, his facial expressions, Paul Heyman's kind of seems like, I don't know if I fully trust him or, so does that make sense? Yeah.
So I think what we're trying to get at is basically him and Jey Uso swap roles.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
So, now where Jay would make all the eyes and faces at I hate Sami. Now Heyman's making the I hate Sami faces where Jay's like, yeah, my brother, my dog.
So, but it just seems kind of out of nowhere. Would you say to a certain extent, like why all of a sudden Paul Heyman is not trusting Sami Zayn now? Like why
they feel like one person needs to be skeptical.
So that's why I was just kind of shocked, Brian, that, Paul Heyman says, I want you dead, Sami Zayn. I was like, whoa, that seems kind of sudden, turn of character work there is like, that he doesn't trust him anymore. So I don't know, what do you think about Paul Heyman's presentation here?
Yeah, that was a little bizarre, the flip flop, because we heard Paul Heyman on SmackDown, I believe, tell Roman, hey, we don't want Sami on the outside pissing in. We want him in the inside pissing out. Right. So sort of convincing Roman that no, whatever we're going to do right now, we need Sami in the bloodline, and then completely switch over Monday and say, we want him dead.
We don't want him in the group anymore, which I was like, whoa, it seems kind of sudden. Like, kind of felt like they're missing a story beat there.
I thought that maybe, I mean, I know it's probably hard because they had something totally different scheduled, right? I mean, they had time, right, to come up with something logical, but I was, aside from that, I was thinking, okay, well, we all know Paul Heyman really at the end of the day is really only looking out for himself, right? He doesn't want to be in hot water with the tribal chief, right? So he's going to do whatever it is that he thinks and feels he needs to do to get the snake out or whoever it is that's messing up what's going on. And so maybe he was just going with the flow and was like, look, the tribal chief wants him out. He told me to put together this video, this case. So that's what I'm going to do, and maybe it would have been nice if we saw like him and Sami at some point in the show be like, look, no hard feelings. Like, I had to do what I had to do back there. Right. To sort of lighten up. And then maybe he gives them the little eyes later on. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of curious because I know last week originally was announced an acknowledgement ceremony and like the Samoan dynasty was going to be present, and they changed it up and had the trial here. I'm kind of curious what would the acknowledgement ceremony would have been or how that would have played out. So to WWE's credit, to pivot and go with this segment instead and have all these video footage packages ready for the prosecution and defense for Sami Zayn. So they definitely changed it up quickly. But I'm kind of curious what would have happened there. But yeah, like I said, I was just kind of taken back, like, whoa, Paul Heyman really extreme hating on Sami, which I know he like say he was making weird eyes, like he like, you know, was kind of suspect of Sami, but to really go like extreme, like screw you, I want you dead. Like, whoa, that seems kind of sudden. But the video package there, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I was going to say real quick, what did you guys think of like how Sami reacted to the whole thing? Because, you know, normally Sami's like, oh, you know, bloodline. Oh, yeah, you do anything and say, I love you guys. And then he just totally switched and was like, I don't have a defense for it. That's it. Like, do what you got to do.
So I see that kind of more of Sami going, hey, what I've done for you guys over the last however many months, why do I need to explain all that again? You guys have seen what I've done. You guys know what I've done. Why do I have to try and prove myself once more? I mean, he didn't say it, but you can kind of be, because the way he was just like, I don't have anything to say. It's like, what do I say that I haven't already said? Kind of a situation.
It's
and then Jay said it.
Yeah, it's like you know, in a situation, it's almost like let my body of work show that I'm down for the cause. I'm here to support you guys. Not what have you done for me lately type of thing. He's like, no, let's not focus on the immediate future. Let's look at the last few months that I've done to prove my loyalty here. So I totally get where Sami's coming from. It's like, you know, he's trying to prove his loyalty and his love for these guys. And Roman, the top guy, still not believing it. It's like, come on, man, that's not fair. So, but it's really interesting that, you know, these video packages really did kind of perfectly from both point of views, prosecution and defense. So yeah, after Sami gave up and Roman was like, had Solo get ready to take him out, Joe Pesci style in Goodfellas or it was a casino. Yeah. But you know, Jay makes the save. And I love how they filmed this though. It was focused on Sami sitting there, Solo getting the thumbs up, you know, ready to spike him. And then Jay came out from the camera shot into the frame and made the save. And it's like, whoa, the guy who hated him the most a few months ago came to his rescue. So that was a great story beat there, Tim, as you mentioned earlier. And then he said, and I like the detail. He said, I worked last minute or last night making this video package. So I was like, okay, good. He just, instead of just saying, go to the video, he said like, I worked on it. So I was like, okay, that's a little detail that, you know, I'm glad they acknowledged that part. But it was just interesting. I want to know, were they just lucky, you know, from a real life production standpoint? Were they lucky that they just had all these clips to choose from? Or was it really thought out that much over the last few months? Like, hey, you know, at this beatdown here, make sure, Sami, you run out so we can use this later against you. I'm always curious about the details like that.
I don't think it's like you're saying thought out that much over the last few months. I think it's just all when they finally figured out what they needed to do for this segment, they scampered through all the footage. Because if you think about it, this is only supposed to be a 1 month thing with Sami and the bloodline. And he keeps getting more and more over. So they just keep extending and extending it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just more like, okay, let's go through all the segments from the last few months and like pinpoint anything you think we can use, you know, for both sides of the case. Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
wait,
Roman.
I'm sorry. Real quick, the part where Heyman is explaining what Sami was doing on the top of the cage, and he goes, "Oh yeah, forever."
He's like, he's signifying he's still friends with Kevin Owens.
That was great. I'm like, okay, they're throwing anything at the wall. Yeah.
That is true. They're I get they're reaching, you know, for anything to use in the storyline to go up against him. So, you know, Roman did say like, okay. Oh, and I like how, you know, the entire audience, you know, threw up the ones, and showed support. I mean, it's like, whoa, it's
so
like
good.
Goosebumps watching it, as far as the entire audience throw up the ones to show like we side with Sami. It proves he is loyal. So
biggest baby face in all of wrestling.
Yeah. So, you know, Roman said, all right, you know, for now you're saved. But I don't want to see you until Saturday. at the Royal Rumble. And then later on the night, we see, Roman talking to Paul Heyman, said he has one final test on Saturday. So I'm not sure if we should maybe get into that right now or save that for the predictions, or let's go ahead and talk about it right now.
So what do you think Sammy on SmackDown?
Yeah, that's what I want to ask. Like, okay, will Sammy not be on SmackDown, or will something
Roman
happen?
said, don't show up on any show I'm going to be on or could be at until Saturday. So that means no SmackDown for Sammy.
And so let me ask you this, Tim, let's start with you. What do you think that final test is for Roman at the Royal Rumble? Like, what can it be that Roman is like testing once again Sammy's loyalty for the bloodline? And I've been thinking about this all day. Like, what is this? And I have a couple things, but I'm curious what you think.
I'm thinking one of two things. Either A, what we already saw in War Games when he took out Kevin Owens, or B, Roman's going to tell him, so I'm the world champion. I'm the undisputed WWE champion. If you're loyal to the bloodline, you're not going to want to face me. Don't join the Royal Rumble. You wouldn't want to face me and try to take the title off of me, would you? No, you want to keep the title at the head of the table. So why would you be in the Rumble? So your final test is don't enter the Royal Rumble.
Brian, how about you? What do you think the final test is?
That's a good one. I think the final test could be that. It could also be to just make sure he leaves San Antonio undisputed universal champion.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, could it be just a simple, help me in my match with Kevin Owens, make sure I win? I wonder if we're gonna have a moment, maybe there's a ref bump and Roman and Kevin are in the corner and maybe Sammy's in the other corner and he goes for a haluva kick, and that he reveals which side is he really for, and does he take out Roman there by accident or takes him out, and then Bloodline beats him down afterwards. I guess I'm getting a little far ahead here with another thought here, as far as I'm thinking, okay, maybe Sammy helps Roman retain and defeats Kevin Owens. I wonder, maybe the other thing too is maybe Roman wants him to take out Jey Uso. Like, the fact that Jey is siding with Sami Zayn in this situation, defending him and not helping reinforce Paul Heyman's standpoint. Maybe Roman kind of sees Jey as the weak link here, as far as not following through with his vision is, and go back to when Roman first won the title, his first feud after went back full circle. His first big feud post winning the title from Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt was Jey Uso, and trying to convince him to side with him. So I wonder if it's that. I'm kind of curious what this test is. Now, the other thing,
one second. I thought of one other test. That's a 180 from what I said before. Okay. What if he tasks Sammy to win the Rumble? Then Sammy wins. Roman comes out and says, now you forfeit that and I don't have to work WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's your final test. You give up a WrestleMania main event for the bloodline.
Or just lay down or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But we do know Sammy is going to be the main focal point of Elimination Chamber, because the image leaked out the other day of his face on the chair. Like, it's just solely him.
Yep. And it's in Montreal, his hometown. So it's going to be huge. Now, okay, like I said, jumping ahead a little bit, which from a booking standpoint, I'm kind of curious. So a couple things here. Now, okay, everyone, a couple months ago thought, okay, WrestleMania, it's going to be Cody versus Roman Reigns, or Roman Reigns versus The Rock. And then, based on the bloodline storyline here, it's going to be Sami Zayn reunite with Kevin Owens versus the Usos for the tag titles. Boom. That takes care of the bloodline characters for the most part for WrestleMania weekend. But now Sami Zayn and Jey are like besties, or they're like so with each other now, like, a 180 from where they were a couple months ago, not trusting each other. From that standpoint, how do you, if it's still going to be tag titles, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos, right now they're all buds. I mean, except for Kevin Owens. How do you break that up and lead back to like a blood rivalry at WrestleMania. Like, I don't know if it's believable at this point. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's believable at this point to see Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, versus the Usos. And then on a side note, and not jumping ahead to like predictions or anything, is that the right conclusion for this bloodline storyline? Is just have Sami Zayn, after everything he's gone through, just go for tag titles? Like, wouldn't it make more sense to win the gold, the heavyweight title? I mean, so that's why I'm kind of worried that kind of, as great as this bloodline storyline is, I love it. It's a generational big storyline that people are going to remember for years to come. But the conclusion to this story, based on what fans initially thought it's going to go, is that the right conclusion, the right ending to this? Or are we looking, unfortunately, not for Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn deserves that spot. I don't know. Like, I'm really, confused and like torn emotionally. Like, what do I want to see come WrestleMania weekend? So that's my thing. Is like, how are they going to get to, if they do the tag titles, how are they going to get to a point where Sami and Jay hate each other again after everything they've been through? How are they going to get back to that? And it's like a worthy storyline. I mean, that's just, food for thought for you guys. I don't know if you have anything that.
That's a good question. I feel like now that you mentioned that, it's kind of it's a real serious situation to be in, I think, for the wrestlers and even for Triple H and creative, because you got this important piece, right? This babyface in Sami Zayn, who you don't want to just, like you said, Huey, tag titles really after everything that's happened,
Yeah, is that
like,
is that
that's
enough?
it.
Satisfying.
Is it really? Because then it turns into Sami versus Jay. You know what I mean? It's totally steers away from what everybody knows this is about, and it should be about Roman and Sami. And then it also gives you some thought. Maybe something's gonna happen. Maybe because then you think, I've seen the rumors of maybe Sami fighting Roman at Elimination Chamber, right? That also kind of makes you think about what's gonna happen at the Rumble, because there's no way that, I mean, everyone's talking about The Rock, right? There's no way Rock is winning the Royal Rumble, and then just like that happens, right? And then, in a few weeks after that, we're going to go to the hottest thing in wrestling right now, which is Sami Zayn and the bloodline, and that whole aspect. That kind of, you kind of already know even though we know what's going to happen, that you kind of already know what's going to happen if you have The Rock win the Rumble and then you put Sami against Roman. It's just like, okay, well, we all know Sami's not going to win then, unless you do something like splitting the titles. And I know that that's been kind of thrown around, the idea of doing that. And then Cody and then Seth. You got so many people who could dethrone Roman for both, if maybe one, both. It doesn't matter. It's something to think about. It's really interesting.
Yeah. What I like is usually by the time we get to the Rumble, we can kind of predict a lot of what's going to happen in Mania. But this year we can't, and I like that we can't.
Absolutely.
Well, that could be considered a good and a bad thing at the same time. But I see it as a positive.
Absolutely, half glass full. Yeah. But that's my thing. It's like, at this point right now, based on the direction of the bloodline storyline, just to sum it up, is Sami and Jay are tight right now. They're on they're on the same page. They're buddies. While a couple months ago, everyone thought it was going to be Usos, Kevin Owens, and Sami for the tag titles at WrestleMania, and that's good enough. But based on the direction of this storyline, is that satisfying as a conclusion? And then, but let's say they do go that route, though. Yeah, how do you get Sami and Jay against each other again? I mean, after everything they've been through.
It's got to be one of two things. Sami accidentally haluva kicks Jay at some point, or eliminates him out of the Rumble.
Yeah, and then he just snaps from that, gets mad again. So,
but I mean, when you say maybe it should be him and Roman, if say Sami goes in there and faces Roman, does he just get beat by Roman, or do we get Daniel Bryan WrestleMania 30?
I hope he's the new Daniel Bryan. I would love to see that.
That would be awesome.
Not to jump ahead to like predictions and stuff, but now, I didn't realize the 1,000 days of his title reign will happen after WrestleMania. So I don't know if WWE wants him to hit that 1,000-day title reign mark. For them to really solidify his title reign, do they feel the urgency that he needs to hit 1,000 days to really solidify this title reign? Because we'll never see something like this again, and maybe in our lifetimes, or we're old, really old, but I don't know. A lot of questions here. So we'll get into more than the predictions here. I just do want to touch on, great match between the Usos, Judgment Day, that, finished off that, the first hour of Monday Night Raw. I just want to get you guys' thoughts on the whole Undertaker, Bray Wyatt, LA Knight segment. LA Knight, to his credit, man, he's getting over. He's holding his own ground, as far as back and forth mic work against Bray Wyatt. Brian, we know that they're gonna have a pitch black match at Royal Rumble. We'll get into, like I said, the predictions, but for the specific segment here, what do you think about LA Knight, confronting Bray Wyatt, Undertaker coming out? What'd you think of this whole segment here?
I thought it was good. I thought it wasn't great. I mean, because it was kind of weird, because you want to showcase Taker, but you don't want to like poop all over LA Knight either. And then you want to make Bray Wyatt look as strong as he can with the potential L that he's going to take at the Royal Rumble, because I personally think, spoiler alert, that LA Knight should beat Bray Wyatt at the Rumble. But it was good. I'm happy in that segment that Taker didn't choke slam LA Knight. I thought it was important for him to it was almost like passing the torch, right? Yeah. Like here you go. Give him the Bray Wyatt. He hit Sister Abigail, and he's been smashing it every single time he has a mic in his hand.
Oh, yeah.
And even I've been watching him on the bump. He's been on the bump like twice in the last month or so. He's been smashing it no matter what. And so I'm really, really excited for him.
Yeah, it was. I felt bad for Undertaker. A little embarrassing that. I mean, it was cool that they brought, quote, back the American Badass gimmick for Undertaker, but the motorcycle wasn't like working at first or like coming out, and then kind of like stalled, and then it finally came out. But I was
had to go to a wide camera shot.
I was bummed. Like, I really wanted to hear Limp Bizkit's Rolling. Like,
that's exactly what I was gonna ask. Kid Rock or Limp Bizkit?
Man,
for Undertaker, Limp Bizkit, Rolling.
I mean, Kid Rock never played him out at WrestleMania.
Exactly. I think the Kid Rock song is cool, but let's be honest, it's a sample from Metallica, Sad But True. So
that's true. I never thought about that. It is.
Yeah, it's Metallica, Sad But True. He sampled the dun, dun. So, but yeah, for me, I always enjoyed the Limp Bizkit Rolling, just because from when the motorcycle's flying down, the ramp, and just the music just fits it better at that point. But he lucked out. He had two badass theme songs for that run of his part of his career.
I guess since he's the American Badass, you have to go with a song that actually says it.
Yeah, true. Exactly. Yeah, that is true. But no, it's cool. Like I said, Undertaker, like Brian, as you said, like I enjoyed that he came in, confronted LA Knight, ready to choke him, but he threw him to Bray Wyatt and let Bray do the Sister Abigail, like literally passing the torch, like, this is your guy, you take him out, I'm handing it to you. So that was cool.
What did he whisper?
That's what I was gonna ask you. What do you think he whispered? Like the memes that have come out from this, that screenshot have been awesome. Like there's so much, but you saw Bray, like he kind of was like, his face was just kind of like just still, and like he was just kind of staring off into the distance, and he was like processing it. But you can almost see like he was getting kind of emotional there, and I was like, Undertaker probably said something like, I don't know, this is your yard now, or you're the new face of fear for WWE. Do your thing. I'm proud of you. I don't know. Like I would love to know if Bray will ever reveal that in an interview, or then again, he might not reveal it and just keep it private, which I think would be kind of cool if he just keeps it private and like, hey, that's just between you and I. So,
it had to be something emotional though. It had to be something emotional, because he did look kind of like choked up. He almost gave that same face he gave when him and LA Knight had that moment in the ring, and he went there. He was acting like he was going to shake his hand, and he slapped Bray Wyatt, and then he kind of just hung out with his eyes wide open.
He's lean on the ropes.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think whatever it was, I'm glad they did it, and I'm glad that we got to see it on TV at least.
Yeah.
Right. And it wasn't like some backstage thing. But it's kind of weird too. It's kind of weird too, because like I said, while they're trying to mix in Taker and, you know, LA Knight and Bray stuff, it's just like they still let that moment happen, you know, because they didn't have to get that moment, you know. They obviously had the camera on them for a reason. So for Taker to do that, whatever he said, I'm sure it was something.
I mean,
good.
He probably said something like, "If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends," or something.
He probably said, "Hey, can your dad help me with my taxes? Can you get me a tax refund? Come on, brother."
Hey, or maybe he said, "Dead man walking."
There you go.
He's like, I was like, it's like, there's so many different things you can say. Like, I mean, you know, it's,
you should have won at WrestleMania 31. You should have won that night, brother.
Broken ankle and all.
Yes, I know. Dude, there's so much. No, like, great segment to pass the torch and seeing Bray get emotional. So, yeah, and we'll talk more about their match at Royal Rumble in a second here. DX, Kurt Angle, you know, squaring off with Imperium here. I enjoyed it as far as, I know in the past, maybe under Vince McMahon, the legends would just beat up the young talent. But I like how in this situation, DX were like, we're old. You guys are intimidating. We're not going to face off with you. We're backing off. And Tim, I think in doing so, it made Imperium look really strong here, especially for Gunther. So that's good. Like, they did their job. They put them over without having wrestling them, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Now, I loved how, like, no one thought Shawn was going to do anything. No one thought Triple H was going to do anything. No one thought Butterbean Road Dogg was going to do anything. But when Sean Waltman stepped up, there was that slight glimmer of hope until he said, I got shin splints. Can't do anything right now. Because that man's been active. I mean, he fought Joey Janela last year.
Yeah.
So it's he could have done something. But then, nope, shin splints. I'm done. Out comes Seth Rollins.
And then, Kurt Angle wanted to be an honorary member of DX. Like, I always wanted to work with you guys, be with you guys. So that was funny. And just Kurt, you know, just great, you know, his comedic timing. So, but yeah, then we saw Seth Rollins come out and team up with Street Profits. So 3-on-3 there. And they pick up the win over Imperium.
Here's a question I have for both of you with the Street Profits.
Yeah.
So as soon as they said, well, it's 1-on-3, the first thing I thought of were Street Profits. Is that a good or a bad thing that whenever somebody needs two guys to join them, you just think Street Profits? Are they just now, to me, almost thought of as just like, oh, you can just throw them in anywhere, which is a good thing, but bad because I don't see them right now doing anything of note. They're just we need someone in an extra spot.
Yeah, Brian, I don't know about you, but yeah, I feel kind of bad. Street Profits have not really done anything lately. They're they've cooling off a lot.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, so they really haven't had much direction. So I don't know if they're just waiting, you know, Triple H, the powers that be, just trying to figure out something creative for them. I'm curious post WrestleMania what's going to happen with them. You know, if there's a draft, or I think a lot of people to this day still think Montez is, you know, going to turn on Angelo Dawkins there and go heel and, you know, maybe start a singles run for himself. I don't know, but, you know, I love Street Profits. They're an amazing tag team, but, you know, what can they do that they haven't done already? You know, that's the thing with wrestling, or, you know, a tag team that's been with a company for a while and they've kind of been successful at every level. It's like, okay, what else can they do that's different? I mean, yeah, do you let them go down separate paths and have singles run? I would love to see a tag team break up and just like, hey man, I love you. We've done everything. Yeah. Let's just take a break and go our separate ways instead of just the traditional someone turns on the other and beats the hell out of them.
Roppongi Vice, when Rocky Romero told Trent Beretta, hey, it's your time to go do your own thing right now.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, you know what?
And then he went to Chuck E. T and said, let's do best friends, like not long after.
Exactly. So, yeah, no, like shit. I mean, I guess it's good for Street Profits. Just it gives them something to do, gives them TV time. The crowd loves them. Which, I don't know, do you guys know, do they sell Street Profits merch, like the jerseys? Like, I feel like they have all these custom jerseys.
I've heard Bianca makes those for the city they're going to.
Really? So she does her ring gear and theirs?
I believe so.
Oh, that's awesome. Yep. Dude, she's, badass, so talented. Let's see here. Yeah, no, amazing. let's see what else here. Okay, let's go ahead and just talk about the main event here, and then we'll just jump into prediction. So main event, Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory for the U.S. title. No DQ match that was added kind of last minute here.
Oh, that boy getting some praise right now.
Yes. Ooh, Austin Theory? Yeah.
Triple H said that if he wants to, he can be the biggest star in the entire business.
Really?
Did you not see the ESPN article?
No, I'm not yet.
They had a full ESPN article written up about him. Basically, Triple H just said, if Austin Theory wants it bad enough, he can be the biggest star in the entire business.
That's cool. Yeah, he really sees something in him. That's awesome. And, we've heard, reports, was it last year, that, people think he could be the next Cena. So, no, that's great here. And the match itself was fine, as far as it's been kind of ongoing between, Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, like kind of all like taking turns against each other here. But obviously the big takeaway was Brock Lesnar makes his big return, comes out, does an F5 on Bobby Lashley, does an F5 on Austin Theory, and in doing so throws him and lands him on Bobby Lashley. Austin picks up the victory, the pinfall there. So what do you think this is going? Is this going to lead to a match at Elimination Chamber, or do you think it's better off a matchup at WrestleMania?
That's a tough one because Mania is a little too far out, I feel, to be teasing it this big right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, unless they do something where like Bobby's in the chamber and gets screwed by Brock, but then how would Brock get in?
Yeah.
Come up through the grates like Shawn Michaels when he screwed The Undertaker?
Do you think Hurt Business? So we know like MVP's been trying to get Bobby Lashley back together, working with him at least, and more or less trying to reform, the Hurt Business. We saw MVP talking to Cedric and Shelton, like when there's like an interview's going on, they're in the background talking. So like Easter eggs that he's trying to work his magic, trying to get everyone involved. Brian, I'll turn to you. Are you cool with like the Hurt Business reforming and with Omos in the equation as well?
Yeah, I'm cool with the Hurt Business. When I start to think about, how thick that roster is getting, it's just like, well, where's the room for all of them, right? I mean, there's always room for tag team, right? Cedric and Shelton, I believe, should be in the tag division and should be, serious contenders, right? Once we get the title situation figured out. But as far as Bobby Lashley and Omos, I mean, Omos already ain't on TV much as it is. And Lashley, if he's not going after the world championship, I mean, I don't think anyone's really, like not necessarily taking him serious, but it's like, it's Bobby Lashley. Like we expect him to be going after a world championship, which we can't expect that to happen until we get that title situation figured out also. Yeah. Right. And I'm not a big fan of just putting the Hurt Business back together just to be putting the Hurt Business back together. I actually just had a thought in my mind just now that what if MVP is doing all of this just to swerve us all, and maybe his new client is Brock Lesnar.
Oh Lord! Oh dang!
Oh, well, okay. Let me ask you this: like, there was online. I don't know if you guys saw this. Like, I forgot where I saw it originally, but maybe MVP. He's trying to reform the Hurt Business, but a different lineup, and like Cedric and Shelton, they've been losing. They lost that tag team, gauntlet match a couple weeks ago for be number one contenders. And someone said, what happened if instead of those guys, maybe he wants to recruit Street Profits because they're not doing anything. So like someone said, like maybe a new version of the Hurt Business where you got Omos, Bobby, and the Street Profits, which I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to see Street Profits be heels right now, but I do want, I'm fine Hurt Business reforming. I really felt, their first run got ended abruptly, and I think there was so much they could have told there with that storyline. And we know Triple H likes factions, and I thought it'd be kind of cool. This could be like maybe a new evolution type group for him to work with. This generation's evolution. But if the Hurt Business do reform, I want there to be a story, a reason why. Because we see Bobby as a babyface right now. He's like so adamant. He does not want to deal with MVP. It makes sense. Like MVP turned on him. He had a blood feud with Omos at WrestleMania last year. So it makes sense. Like I don't want to trust you. I don't trust you. So I want them, they do come back. It has to be a good reason for that. And so maybe in the process, Bobby's tired of losing. He's like, he turns heel and reforms with them. And maybe Brock Lesnar is that reason. I don't know. I like I said, I'm all for Hurt Business coming back, but I want there to be a good reason for me to care. And they're just not throwing them together because they got nothing else going on. So I don't know. I'm all for, something there. I do want to see like the rubber match between Brock and Bobby. I like how it's been kind of like a year-long story. Royal Rumble last year. What was the last time they was it Crown Jewel? No, yeah, Crown Jewel. Yeah, that they faced each other. And then like the third match. I don't know if this could be a last-minute addition to Royal Rumble. I don't think Probably so. Not. Yeah, I hope not. I if they could take their time and maybe lead to a WrestleMania matchup, I mean, that'd be cool. Just the two big boys going at it at WrestleMania. I'll be for that. But yeah, they got 2 months to tell that story. So hopefully there's enough storyline there to keep everyone entertained.
Maybe he keeps calling Brock out. Like maybe Brock showed up. It was Raw 30. Of course he's going to be there. All right. And then he goes away for a little bit and maybe he just continues to call Brock out and call him a coward and all type of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
So when Bobby told MVP, I don't want you or Omos or anybody else out there, MVP can now go to him and be like, hey, if me and Omos were out there, Omos could have stood in the way of Brock. And then Bobby could be like, you think Omos could really stop Brock? But I don't know. Like he could try to use that to say, hey, you didn't want us and look what happened. We could have been out there as a buffer.
True. Yeah. So I'm curious where
right now.
So it'd be interesting to see where they go with all that. So I'm all for it. All right. So this last part of the show, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Predictions for Royal Rumble. I know we kind of touched on a lot of that stuff already and just conversation of just what happened on Raw 30 this week. So Royal Rumble, let's start with, Bray Wyatt, LA Knight, Mountain Dew, pitch black match. Brian, you kind of tease, you kind of lean towards LA Knight.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think the pitch black match is going to be? What do you hope it's going to be? And please explain why you think LA Knight should win this.
So I'm hoping that it's just a big light on the ring and that's it. Like the whole crowd, and their whole arena dark, but just give us some light in the ring. You know what I mean? Like Sin Cara style. Okay,
I get it. Yeah. Okay. I'm just because I know they mentioned like in a report it was gonna be like some fluorescent lights are gonna be involved. I don't know, possibly. Tim. What are you thinking how this match is gonna go?
I mean, I think it's gonna be a purple street fight because the Mountain Dew pitch black. The color of that is like there's a lot of purple on that and neons. So I think
have you tried it?
I haven't seen it anywhere. I saw the new Pepsi 7-Up or whatever competitor Starry because they got rid of Sierra Mist, but I haven't seen pitch black anywhere.
Oh, wow.
I was gonna say, when did Sierra Mist go away?
Like a month ago.
Well, really?
This is the new one, Starry.
Oh my god!
Wow.
What? How's it
It's
taste?
okay. Like a more intense flavor, almost. I liked it, but I don't know how often I would drink it compared to Sierra Mist.
Is it okay? Because we know Sierra Mist, was it Pepsi that owned them?
Yes.
It was their version of Sprite, more or less. So, power ranking lemon lime sodas. 7-Up is. Would you say 7-Up is number one, or probably the OG? Then Sprite, then Sierra Mist. Based on. And then like there's Squirt, which is kind of
Squirt's my number one. I love Squirt.
Squirt's great too.
Not full. I don't think of Squirt as like a lemon lime drink ish.
Yeah. So okay, for Starry or Starry. Starry. I don't know. You say it's like more flavor. Is it?
I feel like they took Sierra Mist and just took the flavors and squirted more into it or whatever. Try to boost the flavor, but maybe just went almost a little too far.
We need to do a taste test. We got to find some pitch black Mountain Dew. Right? We got to find some Starry drink. Try them all out. Okay. Well, that'd be interesting there. But anyway, so yes, back to the actual.
As far as my prediction to go before I went on that, I mean, it's got to be Bray Wyatt. It's Bray Wyatt's. Other than doing house shows, it's his first match back on television. So I mean, I would love to see LA Knight win because I think what I think they should do is Bray Wyatt wins, but not like super decisive. So that way they can start building Bray or LA Knight up for something going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bray Wyatt should win as well. Yeah, first match since WrestleMania almost 2 years ago.
Yeah,
but my only concern is these type of gimmick matches. He's lost a lot of them. I mean, right, Brian? I mean, I can see why LA Knight could be favored to win because.
True.
Yeah.
Like, he lost, against Seth, Goldberg. Was that stipulation? No, there was no stipulation there. But, Randy Orton at the house match, or I remember that was in San Jose. Yeah, that was in San Jose. I remember watching. It was like, wait, it's nighttime, but it's daylight outside still, and it made sense. That makes sense. But so, in these type of like weird gimmick matches, he loses. So I'm worried here that like, could this be another reason for him to lose? But no, I'm with you guys. Like, he needs to win. He needs to, get his momentum going. But I still wonder, is Uncle Howdy going to show up and interfere somehow? Is there some what crazy magic could we see that night? I don't know. It's
when does Uncle Howdy transition to Brother Bo?
Right. That's what I'm wondering.
Does the mask actually come off at some point? So I do think it's Bo Dallas. If you look online, and I think
that's gotta be Bo. That's gotta be Bo.
I mean, I've done a little digging. I think I've sent it to both you guys, but Bo, I've found photos of Bo in like personal time, and he's got like the long blonde hair going, and kind of matches Uncle Howdy's hair look right now. So I think it is so Bo cool, Dallas. So, okay, let's see. Oh yeah. Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. Sorry, Alexa. I think it's Bianca all day here. Tim, what do you think here?
Bianca.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, unless Uncle Howdy shows up here. Okay. Maybe Uncle Howdy has double duty, so he shows up Bray Wyatt's match and he comes back for Alexa. So I don't know. I don't know where this is going. I mean, I'm excited to see what this match could do. Bianca, being the big, strong badass that she is, and Alexa's, smaller. I wonder if Bianca will throw her around or something like that. I'm kind of excited to see how this match will lay out and play out in the ring there. But pretty easy. Bianca. I mean, obviously they're gonna save Bianca champion for WrestleMania. So sorry to look over Alexa Bliss, but no chance. Okay, we'll talk Royal Rumble matches last. So the other match listed obviously is the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns defending against Kevin Owens. It's another one. I hate to think it's an obvious pick, but no offense, the real unpredictability is going to be safe for the Royal Rumble matches, and then everyone else, these champions that are going to be safe for WrestleMania. Tim.
It's got to be Roman.
Kevin Owens. What's that?
I think the match is going to be really good, but it's got to be Roman coming out victorious.
Absolutely. And so I know this will be their third time wrestling at Royal Rumble. They're both 1-1. Mm-hmm. Kevin won in 2017, and Roman won the one 2 years ago. Was the Thunderdome match. Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns, hands down. I mean, I think the more exciting thing to look forward to is Sami Zayn's involvement, if it's going to be his final test in this match. Brian, I'm guessing you're going to throw up the ones as well for Roman Reigns that night.
Yes, and I'm going with Roman Reigns, but I'm also thinking, like, what if they just give us a little bit of excitement, right? And maybe have Sami interfere and like kind of almost cost Roman, but then like the referee goes, no, everyone's celebrating. Kevin Owens just won the title, and the ref goes, no, Sami got involved,
Okay, so I got it then.
Match.
No, not the ref restarts the match. Adam Pearce comes out and restarts the match.
Oh man.
Because he's been trying. Because if you think over the last couple of months, he's been timid with Roman trying to get on his good side. This could be the way to finally get on Roman's good side.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. Adam Pearce is the authority figure, but yeah, he's trying to please Roman Reigns. It's really interesting psychology there from that standpoint. But yeah, Roman Reigns has got to win. I think, like I said, it's just more what story beat are they going to do in this match to add more fuel to the fire, to the Bloodline storyline, to lead to WrestleMania. I think that's the big thing we're all waiting for. All right, let's jump into it. Women's Royal Rumble match. 30 competitors. Unfortunately, they've only announced 7 of them as of this moment. Liv Morgan from SmackDown, Candice LeRae, Rhea Ripley from Raw. Let's see, also Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, Zelina Vega, and Emma from SmackDown. So, Brian, I'll turn to you. Only 7 competitors. Obviously, that means 23 women are going to be in this match that have been unannounced. I assume that the lack of women's presence on Raw 30 this week, I am assuming a lot of the veterans outside of Medusa that we saw saw on Raw, they're just being saved for the surprise entries at Royal Rumble this weekend, and I'm sure they have some NXT call-ups as well. So now, what are you thinking? Who are you thinking is going to win the Women's Royal Rumble this year?
Belongs to Rhea Ripley. 100%.
The graphic alone that has all 7 women announced so far, Rhea Ripley is right in the middle, being the badass that she is, just posing. If that's not telegraphing it, I don't know what is. Tim, how about you? What are you thinking?
So I don't think there's any other woman right now in WWE, unless you go Ronda Rousey back to back, that would make sense for this, because there's nobody else at a level on the roster, whether that's main roster, NXT, or whatever, that the fans would get behind with winning. Because, I mean, Liv Morgan, maybe. Raquel Rodriguez, you could have said so maybe a couple months ago, but then she lost to Ronda on SmackDown on December 30th, and they've kind of cooled off with her. So it's like, I think Rhea's in the best spot right now of any woman to ride the momentum of winning the Rumble into WrestleMania.
I mean, I'm thinking the same thing too, as far as, Rhea is a hands down favorite, and if she wins, I assume she'll pick Bianca Belair.
And did you see the video they posted with her and Dom today? Where she's training Dom how to be in the Rumble, how to avoid certain things to accidentally get eliminated, how to eliminate and do eliminations, and then in the end, Mommy is the teacher. Dom the student turns it on her, throws her out when she's trying to throw him out, and she's all proud. So
I think I'm looking at it right now. Okay.
No. Very interesting video of Mommy and Dom, and she's training Dominic on how to be successful in the Rumble. And she also said, I've messed up in the past, but this time you won't find me sitting on the apron smiling with somebody, just being happy to finish second.
Oh, when she lost to Bianca Belair in the Thunderdome.
She's like, in that case, I won't do that again. I'll take him out.
Yeah, I think this situation where, the story kind of writes itself. I mean, her and Bianca have been eyeballing each other for months now. Like, there's that one segment backstage. They were looking at each other, walking by. I think Rhea Ripley is the strong favorite, and it makes sense. Then she can go after the Raw Women's title from Bianca Belair. That's, I think a lot of people, I think Triple H would love that, because those are 2 of his talents from NXT. He loves to, give them that main event run or match at WrestleMania, and that's like his 2 babies going out there and doing him proud. And then, from the women's division, I know some people kind of said, that could be Austin Rock for the women's division, like these 2 badasses that you can see go at it for future WrestleManias to come, for years to come. So that's the future right there. And then from as an amazing athlete Bianca Belair is, Rhea Ripley is someone that can go toe to toe from like a legit strength, standpoint as well. So it really is really creative. And the other point we just said, like, Rhea got eliminated by Bianca 2 years ago at Royal Rumble. She can maybe refer to that. It's like, you think you're the badass that runs Raw. I didn't forget you eliminating me. And, you think you've been running this place. This is my place too. Or,
she can tell her, now. I've got the ultimate elimination by taking the title from you.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot there. Now, just for the sake of just think of outside the box, maybe Liv Morgan. I know some people think, oh, maybe she can have this amazing Iron Woman run. Like, she wants to enter number one. Maybe she can go on this tear and just last for an hour or so. My only thing is I want to see Liv winning just because she got Money in the Bank last year. So she already kind of won a big gimmick match. I don't see her winning like another one in the same, less than a year apart. I just don't think it's worth it. Shayna Baszler, I love they kind of reset Shayna Baszler and kind of give her a big win here and goes. I know she has the most eliminations, right? In the
her and Bianca are tied with 8.
Okay, so yeah, maybe Shayna goes on a tear. I think right now I can see Ronda and Shayna. I know Ronda's not scheduled to be at Royal Rumble, but maybe after Royal Rumble they can get a storyline going where, maybe they want to go after the tag titles and maybe that's going to be their story for WrestleMania. It's like Shayna and Ronda versus Damage Control.
Well, there could be a little dissension there because remember, Shayna was the one saying, don't do it. Don't defend against Charlotte right now. Don't do it. You come back away.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. We haven't seen Ronda since then. So kind of curious,
well, the rumor is they pitched things to Ronda and she said no.
Ooh.
All right.
That's what came out today, Thursday, the 26th.
Oh, interesting. Wonder what she turned down.
Well, she turned down I don't know what she turned down, but the Raquel Rodriguez match was originally scheduled for Royal Rumble.
Oh, that's right.
Title defense.
Yeah.
That's what came out in the Fightful report today. That originally it was supposed to be Raquel and Ronda at Rumble. And Charlotte was possibly coming back on Raw to challenge Bianca.
Interesting. Okay.
And then Rhea was going to get built up. And apparently Rhea was going to get built up for some Ronda match as well. I can go back and check it really fast, but there was some Rhea component to the story as well.
Maybe another outside chance could be Raquel Rodriguez. I think Raquel will maybe she'll not win, but she'll have an amazing performance in her home state of Texas. Or is she from San Antonio?
Yes, and here's something that people are kind of misconstruing with Raquel. She did an interview saying, my whole family's going to be in attendance. So people thought, oh, your whole family's going to be there. You must be getting the big win. They're local. Of course they're going to be there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Get tickets for all of them. But, Raquel, I think she can go on a tear and just maybe get 8 eliminations herself and tie the record or maybe break it. I think Raquel will have a big performance just, from her strength and size to go on a tear, just eliminate people.
So the Fightful report states that the Raquel Rodriguez Ronda Rousey match was pushed up to December 30th, and the Charlotte Flair return and title win was done because they felt like they needed something bigger for that show. They needed something bigger on John Cena's show. I don't know about that, but it also goes on to state that at one point the match was planned for Royal Rumble as of early December, and there was a suggestion, and it was tentatively scheduled for Charlotte to wrestle Bianca for the Raw Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley was also set to take on Rousey, but that's when Rousey was still the champion. It doesn't say when, but at one point, so does that mean Rhea wins the Rumble and at one point was going to be Rhea and Ronda Mania?
That's interesting. That is interesting.
Well, I mean, and that's
it also says, it closes it out with saying, those familiar with the situation claim that Rousey was presented with several creative options, but they didn't work out. The decision was then made to move everything up.
Interesting. So wonder how long she's going to be gone for then until she's happy with the possible creative idea pitched to her. I'm not sure. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
She needs to be repackaged.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to the idea that originally was going to be Becky and Ronda this year's WrestleMania, but then those storylines got pulled because they just feel like it's not worth it, or Ronda doesn't have the same star power that she once did. They should have done it at 35, WrestleMania 35 in New York, and not make it a triple threat. That's where Ronda was at her peak as far as her character, where she is, and just kind of her presentation. But the fact that she's lost a couple times, big matches since then. She doesn't have that same like special aura around her of this dominant figure that Becky's going to go up against. So, yeah, I was be curious to see where they go. Now, okay, I know there's 7 competitors here. Is there anyone not announced that you think could win here? You think maybe Bayley, Becky? I kind of wonder what's going to be
I'd say,
like. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I was going to say, I'd say, I don't know where the talks are at, but Naomi, maybe.
Yeah.
I guess you can look at it as a make good, like, welcome back. I mean, her and Charlotte, they had a really good match on SmackDown one time. You can have them wrestle for the title, or if you want to make it a multi-woman thing, then that'll be cool. I know people will hate that too. Never mind.
Well, no, I'm thinking like, okay, I imagine, Naomi would come back at Royal Rumble. That'd be a great surprise. I'm sure they'll get some, legends there,
Green returning in the Rumble, maybe. That's what I'm thinking.
Who is?
Chelsea Green.
Oh, Chelsea. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
She's been signed for like over a month or two.
Yeah. I think Chelsea Green. Yeah.
Also, PW Insider reported today that the word is that Cardona is also done with Impact.
Uh-oh.
But doesn't he have like something with NWA coming up soon?
I don't think he has a contract.
Okay.
But if we've learned anything from Carl Anderson, Triple H will let him finish what he's obligated for.
Yeah. Then again, also Card is subject to change. So,
and he does own the name Zack Ryder now. WWE does not.
Wow. Was it?
That's also very interesting.
Radio. Yeah. No, wait, is that his song?
That's it.
Right?
Yeah. WWE let the trademark expire, and he picked it up. Similar to them letting the Santino Marella name expire and Impact picking it up.
Do you think Zack Ryder comes back with the one pant leg? I don't know. It's so ridiculous. Chelsea Green, I think great debut. You think Mickie James comes out second year in a row as Impact Women's Champion?
I wouldn't put it against them. Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. Like, I wonder. Okay, if it's Rhea Ripley and she challenged Bianca Belair, that take care of the Raw title. Where do you think possibly Charlotte's direction goes for WrestleMania? I heard someone earlier. I forgot where I saw it. Maybe to kind of stick it to Sasha Banks. Maybe they do a triple threat. They do Bayley, Becky, Charlotte at WrestleMania instead of the 4 horsewomen. We'll just do the triple threat with the remaining 4 horsewomen in WWE and just kind of stick it to Sasha Banks. That would play off of
last week when Bayley was like, yeah, you guys got the spot at WrestleMania and I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But then again,
I never thought of that.
Could Becky and Charlotte work together based on their, current beef right now, or no longer friends? But then they are professionals.
I think they could work a match together.
Okay, so maybe that could be it's a triple threat for them 3 for the SmackDown title. Just
oh man, that would shatter Charlotte's popularity. Oh boy, she wouldn't be babyface anymore if that happened.
Right?
Anyone from NXT you want to see show up? Just
I want to see Wendy Chu take a nap in the corner for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'll see Tiffany Stratton do her thing. Roxanne Perez be great as well.
We have learned that you can challenge for an NXT title. So can the NXT champions be in the Rumble? Remember, Charlotte challenged Rhea for the NXT title.
That's right.
So that kind of, because I know like Andrade did it as NXT champion, but if you can challenge the NXT champion, what's that then stopping Roman from jumping in the Rumble and winning it so no one can challenge him?
Yeah. Well, but what's her name? Sol Ruka?
Sol Ruka, yeah. That new girl, the surfer.
Yeah, she had a little strong showing off her athleticism at the Battle Royal on NXT a couple weeks ago. So maybe she can do that on a much bigger
look
stage.
Like a doof this week though on NXT.
Yeah.
She teamed up with didn't she team up with
she interjected her in the Alba Fire thing. She interjected herself and was like, I'll team with you. You need a partner. And then they lost.
So, yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to see who from NXT, gets an opportunity to do their thing. up there. So yeah, no, there's a lot of possibilities. I'm excited for the women's match, but I think Rhea's the clear-cut favorite here, and it just kind of writes itself. So, all right, let's move on over. Last but not least, the men's Royal Rumble match. So 16 competitors announced already. So from SmackDown, we got Kofi, Santos, Escobar, Ricochet, Rey Mysterio, Gunther, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, Karrion Kross. And from Raw, got Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Barry Corbin, Cody Rhodes, Omos, and Dominic Mysterio.
How many is that? Like 15?
It's 16 there.
16.
Tim, let me ask you, what do you think? I mean, the vignettes for Cody Rhodes have been airing the last few weeks, and then he's flat out announced last week he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. Do you think that kind of takes away from the surprise of his return? Are you cool with them announcing it early?
I am, because everybody expected it. Like, if they didn't announce it early, everyone's going to be sitting there going, when they're still going to do it, but everyone would be sitting there going, where's Cody? When's Cody coming out? When's Cody? I mean, we're still going to be doing it, but we're not going to be thinking probably as hard about it because everyone knowing he's going to be in the Rumble is going to be like at one point going, oh, Cody ain't out yet. But if we didn't know, everyone's going to be going, Cody ain't out yet. Is there something wrong? Is there a setback? Is he not here? You know?
Okay.
So I like Cody getting announced early, just so there's no, and I don't want to use the word fear, but like fans going, why haven't we seen Cody yet? Is he still
distraction? Hurt? Yeah, a distraction for Well, okay, and then and plus, was it PWI or said like there's a lot more other surprises.
WrestleVotes said it was WrestleVotes. They tweeted out that WWE felt confident in confirming Cody Rhodes early because they felt they had other big surprises that were just as sufficient. I'm loosely remembering it. Basically, said they felt like they had other surprises that were just as good, if not maybe a little better.
Okay. So
especially with Cody being like just known by the fans that was going to be it anyways.
All right, Tim. So predictions. Who you think's win the men's Royal Rumble?
Dom, because he's been trained by mommy. No, I mean, the easy answer would be Cody, but what if it's not and they swerve everybody and WrestleMania ends and all we hear is, oh, and it's Seth freaking Rollins.
Man, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. Brian, how about you?
Hard they're pushing him as a babyface right now. How great would it be? And sorry to cut off, but how great would it be to hear that at the end of Royal Rumble?
And Seth, if he goes after Roman, if they go down that path, I mean, I know there's been a lot of different theories, and will they split the titles before then? Will Roman do double duty? Will Seth be champion one night and Drew or Roman the other night? I mean, there's so many different scenarios have been reported on. You can get blue in the face just talking about it all. But for the sake of just focus on, let's just keep it simple, Seth versus Roman at WrestleMania. If that does happen, Seth can get under Roman's skin. He knows how to psychology, get under him. And we saw the Royal Rumble last year, dressed up like the Shield. And, Seth, to his credit, knows how to stick it to Roman. And the other thing too is, Seth has never, he had the great cash in against Roman, but to my knowledge, he's never really got the main event of WrestleMania, right? If I'm just doing a quick thinking in my head.
No, because the Brock title match opened to the show.
Yeah, that was the first match
35.
in New York. Yeah. I mean, maybe they might be like, all right, here, Seth, let's let you main event a WrestleMania. But then again, he's been kind of, it's hit or miss. He's lost quite a bit of matches in the last few months. So maybe, I don't know if the fans would cheer for it at WrestleMania. That'd be great. At SoFi Stadium. Whoa, but I don't know.
It's what they give him back for losing 3 to Cody last year.
Yeah. Brian, how about you? Who you
That's a good point.
leaning towards?
I mean, if it's not Cody Rhodes, which I'm feeling like it is, I would say Seth. There's a little bit in me that wishes it would be Karrion Kross, but I know it's not his time. I know he still needs a little bit of a push to get him going. But yeah, man, Cody, Seth. Drew is another option. I feel like
he's still owed.
I feel like Drew would be a little underwhelming because yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. Cody, it's right there. I feel like weird though, like not knowing the championship situation, and and then you got Sami, like the momentum and the popularity that he has. It's like, will that mess up Cody? And I can imagine Cody doesn't want to be put in a situation like that to where fans are turning on him now because they love Sami.
Yeah. So that I was just about to bring that up. So like for me, I want to see Cody Rhodes. Like obviously the last 6 months, I want to see Cody Rhodes. But in the last month, Sami Zayn has got so popular and everyone's anticipating he's going to get jumped out of the bloodline. And as we mentioned earlier in the podcast, what's the right conclusion for this bloodline storyline that they're going with right now? Sami Zayn's involvement is winning the tag titles, satisfying enough, or does it deserve a bigger payoff for Sami Zayn, which is beating Roman Reigns? And what I'm concerned is if Cody wins, will the crowd boo him? Like when Roman won, was it 2015 or 2016? The Rock came out and tried to put him over, but everyone wanted Daniel Bryan and he didn't show up. So I'm worried he's going to get that same effect. And Cody, I don't think deserves that. But it's just unfortunate because the Sami line thing has taken off so much and he's so over now. So I don't know. I'm concerned.
The one thing, going back to what you said earlier about, do they want Roman to hit 1,000 days?
Yeah.
So now you have to think, if Roman's going to win at Mania, who would be fine and in the fans' eyes losing to Roman? Because I looked it up here. 1,000 days from when Roman Reigns won the title at Payback 2020 would not be till May 27th, 2023.
So even after WrestleMania Backlash, if they do that,
month and a half after Mania. If they say want to get Roman to 1,000 days.
Yeah, hypothetically, because they can do a whole ceremony celebrating 1,000 days. Like I'm already thinking like that's how they might write it off or do something with that. I don't know. It's
that's a lot of days.
But technically the title reign started with the Universal title. So if he dropped the WWE title, it theoretically, canon-wise, the Universal title is the one that he's had all this time.
Right.
So you could maybe get the WWE title off him somehow and keep the Universal title on him.
Or you merge the Universal and WWE into one, create a new title for Raw. That champion comes out of the Elimination Chamber. Cody wins the Rumble, challenges the winner of that chamber for the new Raw title. Boom, Seth, Cody, back-to-back WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That Elimination Chamber, I think this year could be really crucial for what storylines they're trying to set up. I mean, yeah, like maybe a new title can be decided at, Elimination Chamber. But my only thing is just what bums me out is just when Raw after Mania last year, when Cody said his main mission is to get the title. His dad never had the WWE title. That's true. Lineage for that title is the one Roman has right now. So that's my only kind of like, while it's great if they give him a new title to go after, but it's just the lineage of the title that his dad held. It's the one that Roman has.
I've been harping on the whole, they've been treating Roman and the Usos like they only have one belt. Yet now they're treating the Usos like they have two. So that opens it up for Adam Pearce to come out and say, Roman, you're defending both.
Yeah. True. Yeah. I agree.
If you remember, Becky 2 belts, always had 2 belts. He was never undisputed women's champion.
Yes.
He was always Raw and SmackDown. Defended both belts, lost one to Charlotte.
Yep. Which Brian celebrated that night.
I sure did.
No, he didn't, because Bayley cashed in.
Listen. Bayley made a mistake. Okay. And then, you know what? Now that I think about it, it makes even more sense to have Bayley, and Becky challenge Charlotte so that Charlotte could win again, the big one.
She's gonna break her dad's record this year.
Oh, that's so great.
Like I said, for me, I still want to see Cody, because whoever beats Roman Reigns for those titles needs to. They got to create a new superstar from this. and Cody is a made person that's perfect for that job. And like, you know, his act can like carry future stadium shows. He can do the TV rounds and really represent the company. But like I said, I'm worried if Cody wins, he'll get some backlash from the WWE universe who wanted Sami Zayn. And so that's my only concern is Cody's going to get unnecessarily booed out because it wasn't Sami Zayn to win. And that's where I'm kind of worried they kind of booked themselves in the corner.
Now, are you saying he's going to get booed if he wins the Rumble or at Mania?
Wins at Rumble.
Okay, because I was going to say it all depends on what happens at Chamber, but if you're saying booed at Rumble, then yeah.
Yeah, so that's my only concern.
You think it's possible? You think it's possible that they do a segment at the Rumble backstage where Roman tells Sami, "You're not entering the Royal Rumble."
Well, that's what I was trying to get at earlier. Or that's your final test. You can't enter the Rumble.
Or
and we
maybe
see Sami leave.
Or maybe, okay, I'm guessing Kevin Owens Roman will happen before the Royal Rumble because I think they want the men's Royal Rumble to be the last match. Whoever wins points at the sign, fireworks.
Yeah.
Maybe Sami Zayn screws up or turns on Roman or whatever, and then the beatdown of Sami from the Bloodline happens at Royal Rumble. He's beat up and everything, and he's pissed off, and he enters in the Royal Rumble to begin his payback journey.
Maybe.
You know, he's like, was it Walt Frazier, New York Knicks? He's like, you know, stumbling out to the ring in pain, but he's, you know, gonna win this whole thing. Maybe he's number 30 at that point. Speaking of surprise entries, do you think we're gonna get Stone Cold or The Rock in this?
I don't think Rock.
Okay, don't think Rock. Okay, Stone Cold.
Maybe Austin.
Just in Texas,
right?
Glass shatter. I'll pop for that.
I also feel like Austin coming back would be great because it'd be a way for him to, you know, get back in the ring. Don't have to do too much, right? Don't have to take too many bumps or anything. That'd be it. And you can set something up for maybe possibly some at Mania.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Logan Paul is going to make an appearance. I don't know, maybe other celebrities that might try to come in there.
Bad Bunny, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Bad Bunny. What was the other one I was thinking of? Yeah, Austin can come in. You think Cena? Maybe John Cena? I don't know.
I would have said maybe 3 weeks ago, but after he did 3 moves on SmackDown, no.
Yeah, keeping a bare minimum.
I think he's got a movie with, I think, Zac Efron filming in Australia soon. And so I think he's got to stay clear for that, like not get hurt.
Oh, Zac Efron. Is he done doing the Von Erich movie? Or
possibly, but I know in March he's got a movie in Australia filming with Zac Efron.
Cool. Okay. I'm trying to think any surprise names to be thrown out there.
Maybe it'd be cool if Chelsea debuts or returns in the Rumble, and then Cardona, Zack Ryder in the other Rumble.
Yeah, that too. Jay White. That's a name people have been kind of throwing out, like with New Japan someone from New Japan.
Only if it's a make good for giving them Carl Anderson, because yes, Jay White's contract is coming up soon, but I know he's through at least February 18th because he's doing the San Jose show against Eddie Kingston.
That's right. Oh, Great Muta. You think as a trade off for Shinsuke going to Noah?
That would have been Muta would have announced that probably, because the whole big thing is I've got one more match. It's the Naito match.
Okay, and when's that happen? Wait, what was the match they just
did the Sting Darby 6-man tag with Muta,
and so he has one more still.
One more. It's the Noah New Japan Tokyo Dome like combo show where he's facing Naito in the main event.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm trying to think anyone else. Let's see, could be surprise entry.
I'm trying to think, but
anyone
that's
else?
A tough one.
Yeah.
I would have said X-Pac possibly, but he came out today and said there's no chance he's in the Rumble. Because people since Raw were kind of like on social media trying to say X-Pac in the Rumble, but he's like, there's no chance.
Why do you say no chance? Just because
I only read the headline, but I can go back and find it.
Well,
no chance.
I know Chris Masters has been wanting to get in there so he can do a Master Lock versus Hurt Lock thing with Bobby Lashley. But
I feel so bad for Chris Masters, man.
Right?
He just wants to get in there.
Waltman tweeted out, "For the last 8 months, I've been enjoying life and eating whatever the F I want. In other words, there's no chance on me being in the Rumble."
Oh, okay. So
She's like, but I really appreciate those who desire it to happen.
Yeah. Who else? I'm trying to think. Just before we wrap it up here.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, the surprise. Let's see. Forbidden Door type stuff. I mean, it could be someone from New Japan. Maybe Matt Cardona or Zack Ryder. Austin. I mean, there's so many different things. It's just exciting. I just love the element of surprise right now. It's just the mystery there.
Any men from NXT? You think?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right.
Grayson Waller. No, maybe, but he's doing the title match with Braun
the following week.
Because Grayson Waller, like when he first started in NXT, I hated the crap out of him, but he's really grown on me, like big time.
Yeah. I mean,
he's gonna be as big as they're saying, like they're pushing Austin Theory right now, as far as like Triple H saying next big thing. I think Grayson Waller can get up there as well as like a main event, main roster guy.
And he's fearless.
Yeah,
I know we saw that stand and deliver last year with through the ladder. Oh my God.
Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, Carmelo Hayes. I was thinking, I don't know about Braun since he got matched the following week,
and he's got the title.
Yeah. NXT could be interesting. See who they can throw in there just for sake of entertainment.
Apollo Crews.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm looking at the NXT roster right now.
I don't know. Big E. Do you think Big E could be?
No, Big E. So according to Big E, he's not even supposed to have like a full evaluation until March, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, please take.
Because they're like, we're giving you a year.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not doing surgery, so we're waiting a year.
Cool. Good. Definitely be patient with that.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. Who I'm trying.
Tony D'Angelo, maybe. Just like a quick little cameo. Maybe you don't have to be in there too long.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be fun. I cannot wait. I'm really excited to see how this plays out, and hopefully have a little bit clearer idea. That's my main thing. The best Royal Rumble matches are ones that have like major stories.
Yeah.
And they have stories within the match as well. I assume Dominic will probably eliminate Ray and at least to a Mysterio match at WrestleMania. Like, I want to see little stories that play out in this match here.
I think Ray saves Dom and immediately Dom throws him out.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Now, one name we're unfortunately not getting in the Rumble is AJ Styles.
Yeah, he's still recovering the ankle injury.
Broken ankle.
So, yeah. No, I'm trying to think. Yeah,
I got it. The perfect NXT name, Cameron Grimes.
Oh, Cameron Grimes. What's happened with him? He's just been not doing anything.
I mean, he's showed up on Raw once or twice over the last like 3 or 4 months, and then nothing. Like, I don't even know what his last match was. Was it the match where he teamed with the Good Brothers?
Maybe. I think it was the Joe Gacy. Yeah, right. He was because he was with they came to NXT, the Good Brothers.
Yeah.
And then they fought Gacy and Dyad.
So there was that match, and then he faced like a month later, a couple weeks later, it was just him versus Gacy, and Gacy beat him. So they did the 6-man and then the singles match where he lost. So he hasn't worked a match on TV or at a live event for NXT since November 8th.
Damn. Okay. Well,
Houston.
Yeah, Cameron Grimes could be fun. So I'm all for it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. Looking forward to it. It's gonna be such exciting time, and we can begin the road to WrestleMania at that point. So the next 2 months are gonna be exciting times for us as wrestling fans. So on that note, let's start wrapping things up. Tim, where can the Kliqsters find you online?
You can find me basically anywhere at Timmy Buddy or over at Pro Wrestling Unlimited, whether that's youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited or twitch.tv/PW Unlimited. We're there live 5 times a week doing different shows, whether that's our Monday, Friday news show, whether that's our AEW Dynamite or SmackDown or Monday Night Raw review, or just 4 or 5 news stories a day over there on the YouTube channel. So that's where you can find me, basically the Pro Wrestling Unlimited YouTube channel.
Brian, how about you? Where can the Kliqsters follow you?
Kliqsters can follow me at BrianTronic on both Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm Baby Huey. Follow me on Facebook at Baby Huey Official. Twitter and Instagram at BabyHuey83. Like I said at the top of the show, subscribe to In The Kliq wherever you get your podcasts at. Email us intthekliq@gmail.com. Follow us on social at In The Kliq. That's KLIQ. And on that note, let's go home. And that's the bottom line because Huey said so.